Hello and welcome to another video in the Learning to Drive with Gary Phillips series. In this video we're going to look at crossing approaching traffic. We looked at approaching and turning right before, and this is a bit more detail on the actual turning point itself and how to cross the traffic that's approaching you. On approach to the right turn that you're going to do, you'd have been doing your MSPSL routine, and when you're coming up to the junction you'd be looking well ahead to see what traffic is coming towards you. It's better if you can to avoid completely stopping. It's not always possible, but where you can time the approach, it's better to do that so that you don't have to stop. And what I mean by that is if you can see a car coming along here and you're back here somewhere, then you might be able to slow down a little bit more at this point, which would allow that car to pass, and then by the time you get to your point of turn it's clear for you to turn in, rather than you just getting up to there, stopping, waiting while they go past and then having to turn in afterwards. So time it if you can, time your approach so that you don't have to stop. Where that isn't possible, then you would be slowing down as you usually would, looking at the traffic, it might be busy, so that you know you've got to stop. So where we're going to stop is at the point of turn, and the point of turn is when our front end is in line with the centre of the road that we're going to turn into. To judge that, because you won't be able to see where your front end is from the driver's seat, if you look to the right towards that centre line of the new road, it should line up just underneath the end of your door mirror. So as you look out the door, you've got your door mirror there, and draw a line diagonally across towards the centre of the road, and it should line up just underneath your door mirror. You'll see that better in a practical situation, but hopefully that explains it. We're waiting there, so the amount of time that you're waiting depends on whether you need the handbrake or not. If it's only a pause, a few seconds, you wouldn't need the handbrake, but if it turns into more of a wait, then put the handbrake on. We would be in first gear ready to go at that point, and when it becomes safe, you'd make your turn. To judge whether you've got a safe enough gap, we're looking at not making anybody stop, slow or swerve. Okay, and to judge that, if you can think that you're a pedestrian stood here, if you can walk across that part of the road without getting run over, then you can drive across. And as long as you're going to do that without causing that oncoming car a problem, then it's a safe gap to turn in front of. Once we're in the new road, we're going to check the mirrors, cancel the signal and manoeuvre to make progress if it's safe. Also think about not cutting corners like we talked about before. So if you can see a gap coming up when you're along here somewhere, you might see that you've got enough time to turn in front of this car, but don't just think, oh, I can go now, because you're just going to cut across. Make the decision again when you get to the point of turn. So things may have changed. You might think you've got enough time here, but by the time you get to the point of turn, just have another look and make sure that you've still got enough time, and if you haven't, you can always come to a stop then. So avoid cutting corners. And that's about all on approaching and turning right, crossing traffic in particular. So I hope that's been helpful. Speak to you soon.